Boom! Welcome to yet another day, my last day here at the Nielenbach Palace in Bhavnagar. I've got a few questions that I still want to ask Jaiveerraj, and there were also a few people who asked a few questions, so I'm just going to ask them straightforward. Now, first question, Mr. Jaiveerraj.
Good morning.
Is what is it? Is it Mudgal, Mudgal, Mudgar, or Mugdar? I'm still confused about all the names.
So, India is such a diverse country, and it's different from every region. So technically, I don't know who would be the ideal authority on this. I guess the more research you do, you realize there are so many people who know a lot more about this than myself. So I guess the more experience you have, the more you know. However, I see many people with a lot of experience in traditional exercises, but they have a very one-dimensional way of thinking. So fitness is something that must be, open-minded. You must respect every form of training. As far as the Mudgals go, out here we call it Mudgals. You must have realized the shape is very different. See those, the 4 kgs are different, and these being the about 9 kgs are different as well. So there's nothing too technical, or there's no fixed rule that it has to look like this or it has to be called this. Regions in North India, they refer to it as Mugdar. Many places Mugdar. We out here in this part of the country call it as Mugdal, or sometimes as Mudgal. So there's a difference between both. But at the end of the day, it's not about what you call it as, it's the purpose that it serves and the way you use it. As you know, there's so many more exercises with it. The videos that we have done are very limited. We've done very limited, videos, especially myself. I'm sure on your channel there are many more videos, there are different kinds of flows that you do with it. And then as you move down to South India, I think over there it's something little different than this, different in height, and it's called as a Karla Katai. So,
So is Karla Katai basically the same thing as Mudgal?
So I have, to be very honest, I've never exercised using or worked out using a Karla Katai. So I don't know the purpose, but I have a person who I follow on Instagram in the UK. I think you follow him as well.
Oh yes.
Pardon me, forgive me, I'm forgetting his name. Kartik, I think.
Yeah,
Kartik. Yeah, so I see his videos, it's very interesting. It's something different to learn. And then you see the Jodis over there,
right,
which give it a completely different look and a very different weight distribution.
Right.
So for me personally, the one that I like to train with the most is the 16 to 20 kilo. Firstly because the grip.
This one.
So those are the 20 kgs.
Yeah.
20 kgs plus, those are the 16 the single piece is a 16. So the reason for me enjoying to train with those is because it's challenging on your grip. It gives you a very, a skull crushing grip. Don't mean to sound very dramatic, but that's actually how it feels on the forearms. And it's something that has helped me a lot in my compound movements like the deadlift and the bench press.
Right.
So I guess it ends up conditioning your forearms, your latissimus, dorsal muscle, as well as your anterior part. I feel it strengthening my anterior part of my deltoid. I don't get it as much in this movement on the posterior, I guess, because the grip is so strong, the grip kind of overpowers it.
Yeah.
I'm speaking only from personal experience. So different regions of the country, they are known as they all have a different name. But like you said, Mugdar, Mugdal, what other name did you take? You took quite a few names.
Yeah, I actually took quite a few names. Once it was Mugdar, now it's Mugdal again, and then I'm here with Jaiveerraj, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's still Mudgal. I'm not really sure.
So see, out here the name always fluctuates. Some people call it Mugdal,
yeah,
the G and then the D,
yeah,
and sometimes it's Mudgal, the D first and then the G.
Right.
So I would not, spare any time in debating this. Call it whatever you want, but train with 100% heart and 100% focus. That's exactly what we do.
So I also got another question from Paul Taras Wokowinski, I think, who you also know.
Yeah, I've read a lot about him, and I've seen his comments on your YouTube. He's someone who's very senior and respected in the you could say the mace, the Indian club community.
Yeah, this circular swinging. Yeah, definitely.
He's written a book as well.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I think so.
But his basic question was, what is your reason? What is the reason you like those thicker Mudgals instead of the more longer clubs like the Joris or well, basically the other Joris as well, that have more a length instead of going in the width?
Okay, absolutely. So I'll answer this. It's a very simple answer to the question. It's nothing very technical. Neither is it that doing one part of training is correct and the other is wrong. You can train with a Jori or with a Mudgal. My personal reason for having the Mudgal made in this specific shape, like I told you, is because I do not end up lifting this or swinging this from behind the shoulder. I always do it from above the head, just like that. So for me, the weight distribution is the key. For me, in a Jori, the weight distribution falls down completely at the bottom end, right here. That's how I personally feel it. Whereas the handle or the grip where you're holding it in the Jori is very limited, which is good. It kind of gives you a little challenge, but I don't find the Jori as challenging to do. And it's a slightly different movement from what I see people do, the way they take it from behind the shoulders. So if you see more in the regions of some regions of Punjab, some regions of Varanasi, that's exactly how they train. It's a good thing, there's nothing wrong in it, but I prefer having the design like this. So the weight distribution is as per my requirements, right. Challenging my grip, my forearms, my shoulder, my anterior part of my shoulder, as well as my lat.
So what I've noticed between the Joris and the Mudgal, like Jaiveerraj has them, is that the moment they are longer and the weight is more in the backside and you move over the shoulder, there is basically not really a push from here, right? You can basically let them drop and then pull, drop and then pull. And this is very different than when you actually have to catch one of those heavier Mudgals or Mugdars or Mudgars or I don't know, clubs. Let's call it clubs. So if I would go over my shoulder, this feels a little bit unnatural for these swings, because the swinging pattern is much more smaller and the momentum is less on this actual club. So what I feel, if I go overhead with these smaller clubs, I actually have to push up all the way, and the moment you start to become and to go up to heavier weight, this portion I found it very, very difficult and challenging just to get it up above the head. So if you do that with the Jori and you would go over the head, you don't have to push up so fast, because the weight is already here, so you can basically just let the weight go to the side and then you press up this portion, so it actually becomes a little lighter.
So you see a lot of competitions, right? You've seen some parts of I think Iran, if I'm not mistaken, and other regions where they're call Mudgals as something similar to Mudgals as meal. So the debate always goes on that who started the culture of training with this. It becomes a very weird kind of debate, like where did baklava originate? Was it the Turks or the Greeks? But it's very strange. I don't know why people get a little finicky about it. You must appreciate different technique in different places and see what suits you best, what suits your goals, your fitness goals and your fitness vision the best. And I see many videos where they have competitions in meals, and that is also something very different, but I see them touching their shoulder and balancing it here. So that is also something that is unique and different. But like I said, for me, my reason of having the Mudgals shaped like this is each Mudgal of mine is tailor-made to the measurement that I order it to. It's no general measurement. So if you're going to order a Mudgal through me, I'm definitely going to ask you that, do you have a preference on the kind of grip you want, the kind of weight distribution you want? And if you don't know that, you can leave it completely up to me. I'll design it the way I want it.
Cool. So, I've got another question. How long did it take you to grow your mustache?
That's very interesting. So A few years, man. You got me on that question. I wasn't prepared for that. something out of the fitness box, but no, it's just something that that's just become kind of a trademark with me. So I'll just let it be there, irrespective of whether it looks good or it looks bad. You know, the looks are subjective. Someone could find it hideous, someone could find it good. So I just enjoy it. That's how I roll.
But if someone wants to have one of those mustaches, how long does it take for them to grow?
Everyone's genetics are different, right? So how do I comment on that? But yeah, get yourself a good stash wax. So you can have the handlebar looking all nice and comfy. I think you could do it. I think you could do it. You got a mustache going on out there.
Yeah, it'll look nice.
Yeah, not too bad. So probably when you come back to India end of the year or next year, we can have the Dutchman rolling a mustache. So you'll have Indian with a mustache and a Dutch with a mustache, and then we can go for a good workout.
We'll be twins. Right. Next question: what kind of wood do you use for these Mudgals, and what is the best sort of wood you can actually use?
So interesting question there. You could actually use any durable wood that suits your needs and your budget. Everyone has a different budget. But our goal out here at Neelambag Palace is to make this an accessibility, not a luxury. We definitely do use a wood that is expensive, but because it's so abundantly found through various people that I know, we make sure that we are distributing Mudgals at a very affordable rate. So we use what we call in India as shisham wood, which would translate into rosewood. Mm-hmm. And it's a very high quality wood, and the best part about it is it does not get any termites. So it's very durable and won't give you any problems for definitely the next couple of years. I mean, this is made from local rosewood here in Bhavnagar by the carpenter in our palace, and this piece of Mudgal is more than 22 years old. If you look at it, it definitely does not look new, but you will not be able to tell it's 22 years either. It's extremely solid, extremely durable. So rosewood, or locally known as shisham, that is what we use for this. Shisham, not shisha. We do not endorse tobacco at all. This is no shisha. This is health and wellness and fitness. So we stay away from shisha out here. We only talk about Mudgals.
So I've got another question. What is your bicep size, Mr. Jaiveerraj?
So very weird and interesting questions. I have no idea. Never measured my biceps. To be very honest with you, I don't even think professional bodybuilders measure it, because I don't know, how does it matter, right? It's the strength that you have in the conditioning. For me, the conditioning doesn't matter, it's the strength. So as long as I can lift enough to keep myself fit and healthy, that's what matters. So I never go by how big my chest is or how big my arms are. And another thing is, you don't measure your bicep, right? You measure your arm. And I think tricep forms majority of it. So let's focus on getting bigger tris, and then it's easier to get by.
Okay, very wise answer, but can you please flex a little bit for us?
Let's see how many of you have been hitting the bench press and can do.
Dutchman, I miss the pepper man, I keep your hair bumping. And now the truffle makes me up with the production. Pass the mic, I'm gonna drag it out the